As a person who is known to be frugal and known to save their money in different ways, sometimes people will make assumptions that we sit on our money, that we don't spend it for anything. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have bought recently as a frugal person. Welcome, everyone. I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars, and I'm so glad that you all joined me today. I'm going to share with you some of my recent purchases that I have saved up for and purchased without having any debt because they were things that I put thought into. They were things that we really wanted, that we saved for. And they were things that when I buy them, I will have no buyer's remorse. I feel like that's one of the things that frugal people have in common. It's not that we don't spend our money, it's that our purchases are thought about ahead of time, planned ahead of time, and then when we let go of that money, there's no regret. So I had been thinking about for a while of buying myself an insulated coffee cup. Yes, I have the really big kind that will hold like 6 cups of coffee, but just for my everyday use here at home, I didn't want to use those giant ones and I didn't want to put that much in there. And I wanted just a regular size coffee cup that I didn't have to get up and reheat multiple times during my morning. I'm one of those people, I either like my coffee really hot or cold. I don't like it in between. I don't like it lukewarm. So I purchased this at Walmart for $14. Now, I had looked around for a while and they could go as high as $30 for this insulated cup. It does have a lid, but I'm not using it right now because I don't need it because the temperature outside is cool, but it's not cold. But when it gets to be really cold, then I'll use the lid. But this will keep my coffee hot for up to 6 hours. That is plenty. I was getting up, going to the microwave, and reheating my coffee multiple times, every single cup, every single day. Now, this is a convenience item. I don't have to get up and do that, but I also don't have to run the microwave, and I don't have to lose my train of thought to get up and do that and come back and wait for it to heat. So, yeah, this was a convenience purchase, but it was also well thought out. I'm really enjoying not having to reheat my coffee multiple times, and it was a good price, and I have no regrets. I also recently purchased 2 new bras. They were buy one and get the second one for $15 at Lane Bryant, and they had a really good deal going on. I've been getting my bras there for a while, and I wait until they run specials, or I wait until they give me like a $20 coupon off for my birthday, and I replace my bras that way every single time that I need them. I had a couple that had lost their elastic and I had had to toss them out. And I like to have a few so that I can rotate those during the summer when it gets really hot and have plenty so I don't have to wash so often. So I went and I purchased those while they were on sale, got a really good deal, and have no regrets. I also shared with you that I took a trip to see my son in Bethesda, Maryland, here just a while back. I spent money to do that. I planned ahead of time, but one of the things that I purchased ahead of time was a window screen for my windshield so that I could put that up at night when I was resting. I did have one, but we moved it to the RV and it was a little large. And so I watched for those to go on sale and I picked one out and I purchased that for $9 before I took my trip. I figured $9 versus the hotel fee, I could let go of that money. It could keep my car comfortable and private. And so I purchased that, and it was an intentional purchase. I also recently had my class reunion this summer that I hosted. And before I had that, I went and got my hair cut. Now, many of you know I only get my hair cut one to 2 times per year. And this was the first time I had got my hair cut this year. I got about 3 inches taken off. My hair is naturally curly. It has a mind of its own. So every video, it will probably look different, but that's just part of the breaks of having curly hair. But I did get a haircut this summer, and that is something that I plan for and budget for. I also just booked our resort. It's an older resort that we stayed in once before in Key Largo, Florida, for April of 2025. This is something that we've planned for, we've budgeted for, we have saved for, and I had been watching those prices and I caught them at a good deal. When we checked this winter, they had gone up a lot, but now I checked and they had gone down like $30 to $40 per day. Since we travel off season, the resort is primarily 55 and over people. It's a small resort. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. We can get the relaxation that we look for when we go there. It has its own small private beach. It has a kayak you can use. It has a paddle boat you can use, all included in your daily price. And it's still cheaper than a lot of the motels in that area. And it has a kitchen, which is one of the things that I look for when we travel. That way we can reheat leftovers and we can make our own coffee at the resort. So we enjoyed it so much the first time that we wanted to go back again rather than trying a different place that we might or might not like. So we watched for the deals to be presented and we snagged those up, and our week's vacation for our housing will be around $2,000. We paid that up front, no debt, and we're looking forward to that trip. We will still need to purchase our airline tickets and our rental car and our food, but we will know that before we go on vacation, the housing has been paid for credit free. We will also pay for our airline tickets up front so that they will be paid for, and we will have money for our food so that we will come home debt free. That makes for a much better vacation. As some of you know, since I retired, I have gone back to doing some of the hobbies that had sat on the wayside for about 14 to 15 years. One of those things is I love doing printed embroidery. I love doing dresser scarves. I would like to do more doilies. I still use those things in my house because I love that old-fashioned look. So I looked on eBay this past week and I picked up a printed embroidery table runner. I picked up some holiday doilies that were pre-printed and some more dresser scarves. So I'm looking forward to that delivery, and I spent about $35. It's getting harder to find things like that because some of those pastimes are just that. They are pastimes that people no longer do. So to pick up a few of those that were holiday themed, I was super excited. I'm almost done with my last one, and then I can start on these. I had told myself that I had to use up the ones I had already started, that I already had, before I could get new ones. And that's one of the things that frugal people do, is we use up what we have and tell ourselves we need to use that before we get new, before we spend money to get new. And that's one of the ways that I have no regrets when I purchase the new things, is because I know I have used up what I had on hand. This week is my husband's 40th class reunion. So we're going to take the RV and go to the town where it is happening at. And we're going to stay there rather than getting a hotel, or rather driving the lengthy distance back and forth. And we're going to be able to eat out of our camper and go to all of the events that are planned for those 2 days. Doing things like this to offset the cost are ways that we are able to afford other things that we want to do later on. Our RV has paid for itself time and time again by doing things like this. Let me know in the comments, is there anything that you have purchased that maybe somebody might say, hey, that's not very frugal, but you planned for it, you saved for it, you budgeted for it, and you can afford it because you did those things. Sometimes people will look at us as frugal people and say, wow, they have all this money, and it's because they don't spend it. But we do spend money. Everybody has to spend money to survive. It just means that we pick and choose and think thoughtfully about what we want to spend our money on before we let go of it. And they are intentional purchases, things that we really want, that we've really thought about it before we let go of that money. And that makes our purchases so much more worthwhile. I've had buyer's remorse before. I've purchased things because I was either talked into it or someone made me think it was a really good idea or I was impulsive. I don't do that anymore. And it makes spending of my money less stressful. And I'm really glad when I've spent the money because I know it was something that we really wanted or needed and it was a good purchase. Let me know what you think about this. I know that the things that I've purchased may not be the things on your list, and that is okay. Being frugal doesn't mean that we all have a copycat plan of how we spend our money. A lot of things are similar, but a lot of things might not be. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.